9 तारीख है आज। Lakshit
good.
is joining from Singapore.
Nice.
Nice.
And what about Pranavi? Is Pranavi there? Hope kids are joining from the correct names. So yes, Pranavi, please do message in the chat box from which school and city you are joining us. Okay, so please turn on your camera.
She's from Mumbai. Very good.
Oh, Lakshit is sitting in the dark.
Yes, you're not able to see. Hey, hi Lakshit.
Welcome both of you. All right, so Megha ma'am, I think we can have a chat links in the chat box.
Sure, ma'am.
So meanwhile, Megha ma'am is pasting a chat links. I would like to inform you flow of the session. So as I already mentioned that you all will be on mute in today's session, but in upcoming classes, you will be able to interact with your mentor freely, okay, by unmuting yourself. This setting is meant for today's demo only. So first you'll be going to have a chat links which Megha is going to paste it for you in the chat box and she'll be going to give a brief about it. Then you'll be going to meet your mentor, okay, and then I'll be going to show you a short informative PPT related to your course. After that, you'll be going to see a dashboard tour that how you can have access of your material. Hope I'm clear to everybody. All right, Megha ma'am, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So kids, as you can see, there are some chat links which I'm going to paste it on the chat box. So the first link is all about a syllabus link. You have to click on this particular link for the to know more about the syllabus. Payment can be made at this particular link. So if you're not enrolling for this particular batch, just click on this particular link and make a payment and enroll for this batch quickly. Okay. So in case you want to share a feedback, just click on this particular link to get a feedback and you can openly feedback us. So for all the batch details, just click on this particular link and you to more to know about the batch details. In case of further queries, you can email us at support@olympiadsuccess.com or drop us a WhatsApp on these two particular numbers. So this is all about the chat links. Hope I'm clear to everyone. Show thumbs up if I'm clear to you. That's great. Nice.
Welcome, Kanesh. Good evening, Athar.
Over to you, Pooja ma'am.
Thank you, Megha ma'am. So Kanesh and Athar, I think you have joined later. So I'm just informing that you will be on mute. Whatever you have to communicate with us, you can show us gestures or you can just drop us in the chat box. All right. So we'll be going to answer each and every query via chat box. And please type it in the chat box from which school and city you both are joining us. So meanwhile you are mentioning, I would like to give a brief about your mentor. Her name is Miss Aleena. She's a wonderful mentor. She loves to teach kids like you. She is into teaching profession from since so long and she's teaching kids online and her classes are very interactive and interesting and knowledgeable. So over to you, Aleena ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Pooja ma'am. Hello, good evening all. Lakshit, Parnavi, Kanishk, Athav, am I clearly audible to you? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, yes. So as Pooja ma'am told, my name is Aleena. I am your science mentor. Okay. Yes. So let me introduce myself to you. My educational qualifications are MSc B.Ed and I have qualified state eligibility test as well. And I have been working for 7 years now and I have been interacting with the young minds like you for a while. So I just love teaching the kids like you, right? Yes. So I hope science is your favorite subject. Is that so? Am I right or wrong? Give me a thumbs up if science is your favorite subject. Yes, yes. Parnavi, Lakshit, and what about? Yes, Adhar also give me a thumbs up. And Ganesh, what about you? How about science? Yes. So everybody loves science, right? Yes, yes. So here Actually, we are taking Olympiad classes. Okay, so what is the difference between your school classes and coaching classes? So here we are actually focusing on the competitive exam, and we are giving training for you. Okay, in the sense like we are clearing your conceptual knowledge, plus we are giving you the practice test. So to compete in this exams, this kind of exams. Okay, yes. So that's it. Thank you. Yeah, over to Pooja, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let me share my screen with you all. Hope my screen is visible to everybody. So welcome everybody at the platform of Olympiad Success, where we do provide online preparation classes. As you know, it is India's largest online preparation platform. We do offer a course School Plus program, including subjects mathematics, English, science, logical reasoning, Vedic maths, Kilo Speak, and coding. We do provide individual classes also for different boards and for different grades, that is grade 2 to 12, and we do provide preparation classes for international Olympiads also. So these all are our rank holders from previous years. So they are kids like you only. You can also become a rank holder. For that, what you have to do, you have to just prepare well, and you have to spare every day 2 hours regular from your regular studies. As you know, Lumped examinations are little tougher than the regular course examinations. So you'll be going to get a live classes for group sessions. There'll be around 20 students in one session with delivered through Zoom platform by a seasoned tutor. So session will be 3 days per week. Days will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Class timings will be 6:30 p.m. till 7:45 p.m. with 5 minutes of break. The session includes of mix of theory, practice, question, doubt session, previous year papers. So you will get all your material on dashboard. Soon I'm going to give you a dashboard tour for the same. So these all are the relevant links. No need to worry. Links have been pasted in the chat box and will again be pasted in the chat box. So the fees for this course will be 12,264 rupees. It will be 50 session course. So what all you need for these classes are just a laptop or desktop with good internet connection, a good camera for better picture clarity, that you should not miss anything what your mentor is going to teach you on your whiteboard, and headphones for better audio clarity. So regular class is going to start from coming Monday, that is 15th of July. So as you know that we have students from more than 5,000 schools in year 2023 and 24. So let me stop sharing my screen. Let me take you through the dashboard. Sure, Kanish, we'll be going to take questions after this dashboard tour, okay? We'll be going to clear your doubt. So what you have to do, students, you have to just yeah, hope my screen is visible once again to everybody. You have to just enter this URL olympiadsuccess.com and you will get this page on your screen. So after this, you'll be going to enter your user details. Make sure that you enter correct user details, otherwise you will not be able to log in. So after logging in, you will get your personal details on your screen, wherein make sure that you check each and every detail. In case you find any error, you can just click rectify it over here and you can click on update button. After this, you have to click on live classes. You have to select your subject, for which specific subject you want to see your material along with topic. So let's say I have chosen microorganism, and here you can see I got my schedule, holiday calendar, reading material, question papers, and answer keys. So in schedule, you will get a clarity that in which session we are going to cover with specific topics. So you can see everything is proper systematic. So you'll get a proper sessions, doubt sessions, and you can see that after completion of every chapter, there'll be a test discussion also. So in last, there are super classes also. So you can see each and every chapter topics are bifurcated equally, that you should not miss any of the specific topic. right? So here are the super classes. So in these you can clear any of your doubt, and there'll be test papers also, especially designed for Olympiad examination. So here's a holiday calendar for your reference that you can plan your days accordingly. Okay. So clicking on reading material. So as you can see, reading material is having a complete description of each and every topic in detail, that you can get the knowledge in depth. Okay, so each and every PDF is downloadable. For that, you have to just click it here on the top. Here are the question papers. This is for your practice. I will recommend you to just download the paper, take out the printout, solve it, and then later on check your answer keys. Here are the answer keys. Once you're done with your paper, you can check your answers also, that how you have performed. That in case you have done something wrong, you can do more practice, right? So here are the worksheets. For more practice, you have to just click it on worksheet. You have to select your subject, and here you can attempt the worksheet. Click on take exam. Make sure that you read instructions carefully, then select the cycle, then click on start worksheet. So you can see there are 25 questions. So make sure that you read question carefully and fill your correct answer. So let's say I filled my first answer. So I want to move on question two. For that, you have to click on next button. And in case I have doubt on second question, so I want to review it once again before I'll complete all my answers. So I will just click on select and mark for review. Okay. So let's say I've done my third question and I've done all my questions. Now I want to submit my worksheet. Before that, I will review my question which I have marked to review before submission, right? So let's say now I know my answer. I'll select the answer and I'll click on next button. So once you're done with all the question, make sure that you click on finish button for submission of the worksheet. Yes, I have reviewed all the question. Because once your worksheet is submitted, then only you'll be able to check your performance also. So you can check your performance, that how you have performed in the worksheet. So select your subject again. And you can say I've attempted this worksheet just now. So I'll click on view button to see the performance, that how I have performed. So I've attempted 3 questions, all are all right. So make sure that you, whenever you're attempting your worksheet, you should be attentive properly. So that's all about dashboard. Now we'll be going to take forward your queries. Whosoever is having any doubt, drop it in the chat box. Yes, Ganesh. And I request everybody once again to please turn on your cameras, because we don't allow students to sit with cameras off in our classes. Anybody is having any doubt? How often would we have practice worksheets? So that's up to you. You'll be going to get access for the same. So it's up to you whenever and how many worksheets you want to practice. Hope your query is answered, Lakshit. Will it be homework? No, your other things will be homework that your mentor will be going to inform you in the classes. So you'll not get a regular homework for the same. Anybody else is having any doubt? Athar, Abu Bakar, Parnavi? If not, then show me thumbs up on the screen, then we'll go ahead with your demo. Yes, Parnavi is having any doubt? Or we should go ahead with a demo? Okay, tell me the class days and class timings. What would happen if you miss a class? Sure, that's a good question, Lakshit. If in case any of the emergency you miss a class, you can check your class in the recordings, right? So you can practice via recordings. So you'll get a recordings for the same. So you can practice your work from recordings. Great. Anybody else? All clear? Type it in the chat box. What are the class days and class timings? Yes, class days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Absolutely correct. Good job, Athar. And what are the class timings? Till when we all get access of the above links. See, if timings are correct, 6:30 till 7:45 p.m. So Parnavi, if I talk about the links, you can go on the website and you can check it, right? Because over here there are batch details that you can check on website easily. You want to give us a feedback, it's a form. You can just fill up the form and you can send it to us. In case you want to enroll for this batch, for sure, you can just click on this payment link. You can complete a payment process and you can enroll for this batch. And syllabus also, you can just click on this particular link and you can have access. So there is no particular access is required for these all links. Okay. These all links are accessible for everybody. Hope I'm clear to you, Parnavi. Okay. So let's move ahead with the demo then. All over to you, Aleena Ma'am.
Thank you, Pooja ma'am. Yeah. So hello all. So we are going to start the demo. Okay. So here we are going to take a very interesting topic on it's a physics kind topic, force and pressure. So is it okay for you? Force and pressure. Okay. So who all are there in the class? Let me count the student strength. Lakshit, Parnavi, Abubakar, Athar. So please turn on your camera. Abubakar and Athar, please turn on your camera. Please, any issues with your cam? Abubakar and Athar, any issues? Internet issues because I am on vacation. Okay, Athar, understood. Uh, yeah, what about Abubakar? Are you there? Okay, no reply from him. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to start the class, force and pressure. So what do you understand by force? So here, see, today you are all mute, but on regular classes, you can unmute yourself and speak to me directly. If we have more strength, what will happen, you know, when you unmute yourself and speak, there will be a lot of disturbance. That's why. So here, you can chat me, like you can put your queries on the chat box. So if you want to ask me something, you can put it in the chat box. Okay, that will work today. Okay, Abubakar also got network issues. Okay, fine. Okay, let us start the class force and pressure. So, what do you understand by force? Anybody? What is force actually? How actually force, occur? How we can apply force? Any idea? Force. When you hear the word force, what idea gets in your mind? What idea? Any idea you can share with me? Any idea? Panavi, Lakshit, Abubakar, and Athar. Push or pull. Very good, Lakshit. Yes, a push or pull. Parnavi, that's also good. Push or pull creates force, right? Yes. So a force is a push or pull. So can you give me some examples where you are pushing something? Push, where you are giving push or pull. Pull. Any example you can give. Yes, kicking a ball. Kicking a ball means is it a push or pull, Lakshit? Opening a drawer. So you want to mention whether it is a push or pull. Kicking a ball. So here there is a pictorial representation of push or pull. I hope you can see that. Pull means what we are dragging something to our side, right? Pushing means we are moving something away from our side, right? So kicking a ball means we are pushing that ball away from our side. So it is pushing. And we are opening a drawer means we are dragging something towards our side. So you are pulling it, right? So this is an example of push or pull. Whenever we are doing push or pull, we are actually exerting force. Okay. So when an object pushes or pulls another object, you say that first object exert a force on the second object. Okay. So here actually what we are giving, we are exerting force on another object. So here two objects are interacting together, right? Here two objects are interacting together. One object is exerting force on another object through push or pull. Okay. Yes. Now, see, we have introduced the word force here through push or pull, right? So, what is the unit of force? The SI unit of force is Newton. Okay, this is also very important. What is the SI unit of force is Newton. Understood what is force? It is actually push or pull. And Garrett, tell me what are the effects of force? When we do or when we exert a force on another object, what all effects are there? Can anybody mention? What all changes that can be brought to that object? What all changes can be brought when we give a force to another object? What all changes can occur on that object? Anybody? Okay, Adar gives 2 points. We can make a stationary object move, correct? We can stop a moving object, very good. Speeds, we can change the speed of an object, good. Velocity of a moving object, good. Direction, very good. Shape and shape of an object, right? Yes, very good, very good. So that's it. So, there are a lot of effects of force, right? So let us have a look at the number of effects of forces. First point, force can move the stationary object. Yes. They can stop a moving object. Yes. They can increase or decrease the speed of an object. Yes. They can change the direction. They can change the shape and size of an object, right? So, force can move a stationary object, right? Can anybody tell me one example of moving a stationary object? Moving a stationary object. Any example? Panavi, Lakshit, Abubakar, Adab, Upasana. Any example? Upasana, welcome to the class. Good evening. Please turn on your camera. Lakshit, for this class, demo class, you can listen. Okay, for the regular class, I will give you time to take down the notes. Okay, just listen here for today. Yeah, so who can tell me an example of this? Moving a stationary object. Moving a stationary object. Any example? Moving a stationary object. Yes, Adar, very good. Kicking a ball, right? Ball was in a stationary phase. When we give force to that ball, starts to move, right? Yes. And can anybody give me an example where it can change the direction of motion? Where it can change the direction of motion? Changes the direction of motion. Yes, yeah, cricket ball coming towards the, those who bat, right? And it goes in the opposite direction. So it can change the direction of motion. Very good, cricket ball. Okay, that's good. Now, let us study more about force. Okay, see, we know that force occur when two objects interact together, right? In the form of push or pull. So it is a measure of interaction between two objects. So there are different type of forces that we can see in detail. So here, what is force actually? It has a magnitude. What do you mean by magnitude? Let us, we can measure this force. I am going to write on force is equal to 2 Newton. Newton is the SI unit of force. Okay, it is a unit of force. So I have written a value 2. 2 means what? There is a quantity 2. This is known as the magnitude. So force has magnitude and it depends upon the direction as well. It has magnitude and direction. So those quantities which has magnitude and direction is said to be vector quantity. Okay, so there are two type of quantity, scalar and vector. Vector means those quantity which depend on magnitude. Those having magnitude and direction are is vector quantity. And what is scalar quantity? Which contain only magnitude. Okay, that is scalar quantity. Okay, so forces can be contact force. What do you mean by contact force? Who can tell me what do you mean by contact force? That name itself suggests. How contact force arise or result from, like, as the name itself suggests, when there is a contact between, see, we already studied that the interaction of two objects give rise to force. So if they interact together through physical contact, like contact forces arises from the physical contact between two objects, then that force is said to be contact force. Okay, yes. Now, see, here you can have some idea regarding contact forces, okay, and field forces. So, can you tell me some examples of contact forces from here? Contact means they have two objects is in touch or in physical contact with each other. You can see when we are dragging a spring, right? So we are just touching that spring. So there is a physical contact between two objects, our hand and the spring, right? So you can see in the second picture a lady dragging a card, right? So there is a physical contact between that two objects. And the third picture, you can see a cricketer or a player is kicking a ball, so his leg is touching that ball. So there is a contact between two objects and said to be contact forces. Okay, and what is field forces? What do you mean by field? Contact means there is a contact between two objects. Field forces means what? There is no, no physical contact, there is no like direct touching, right? So this two interaction happen between two disconnected objects. Can anybody tell me some examples of field forces but there is no contact or direct contact? Magnet, yes, Lakshit, good. Then any other example? Leaf falling, gravity, we can say gravitational force, right? Yes, it's because of gravity. Yes. Air resistance, yes, good. Frictional force, tell me, frictional force is a contact or non-contact force? Frictional contact force, exactly. Electrostatic forces, contact or non-contact? Electrostatic forces. What is electrostatic forces? The forces between two oppositely charged object. Okay, anyway, we can look at more examples. Let us see. Okay, so what are things we have learned till now? We have learned about what is force, how force arises, right? And what are the two different type of force, contact and field force. Then what is the unit of force, right? So what is a force? Force is a vector quantity. So till here we have learned. Any doubt? Tell me, any doubt? Anybody? Clear? Yes. Okay, now let us see more about force. We can study more characteristics of force. Okay, see, suppose a object, okay, in a we can say an object is in resting position somewhere. It puts, let us say, our laptop resting on the table. See, more than a single force act on an object at one time. Okay, there can be more than one force which can be acting on an object at a single time. So, what do you mean by net force? The combination of all the forces that is acting on a single object is known as the net force on that object. So, we want to add all the forces which is acting on that object, then we will get a final force which is known as net force. So, this force will determine, or this force will predict whether an object can move or cannot move, and in which direction it can move. Understood? So, what is net force? See, it is said that more than one force can act on an object. Okay. So, overall force, the total sum of the overall force is said to be the net force. See, net force is net force has got some role. What it can decide whether an object move or not, and in which direction it can move. Okay, so let's see about more into that. When force act in the same direction, here you can see an example. There are two forces, 5 Newton, 5 Newton. So this 5 Newton force, two forces are acting on the same object in the same direction. Okay, so when the forces act in the same direction, what will be the net force? If they are in the same direction, we can add these two forces. So total force will be 5 plus 5, 10 Newton. Okay, and in which direction they will move? They will move in the direction where the force is applied. In this direction, the object will move, right? Yes. And what about when they are in opposite direction? When these two forces are acting in the opposite direction, what will happen? What do you think? Suppose if the 5 Newton for or let's take 5 Newton and a 10 Newton force, two different force. Okay, they are acting in the opposite direction. One is acting like this and one is acting like this. Okay, so can you tell me what will be the net force? Since they are acting in the opposite direction, we need to subtract. So 10 minus 5 will gives us 5 Newton. And who can tell me in which direction the object will move? So here we have the object. One is 5 Newton is acting in this direction, and the 10 Newton is acting in this direction. So who can tell me in which direction the see, does the force move or not? Does it move from its original position from here? Tell me yes or no. Does the object move? I'm giving here there is an object. I'm giving 5 Newton from this direction and 10 Newton from this direction. So does it move or not? Yes, right. And in which direction it will move? In which direction it can move? Left means, can you please describe, Lakshit? Can you 5 Newton in the direction along with the 5 Newton or along with the 10 Newton? 5 Newton, yes. So it will move along the greater force, right? This direction. In this direction, it will move, right? Yes. So the net force is we want to subtract the two forces because they are in opposite to each other. Okay, hope Abu Bakr, Adar, we are getting the points, right? Parnavi, Lakshit, you are all getting the points, right? Yes. Okay, now let's see what are the different types of forces. Okay, so here you can see the list of forces. There are different type of. Have you heard about gravitational force, Archimedes force, frictional force, tension force, spring force, normal force? Okay, we are going to study everything in detail. No worries. Okay, so these are the different types of force, and let's see the classification of force in detail. Here you can see the classification of force. Okay, forces are of two types, non-contact and contact. So non-contact, or we can say it is field force. Okay, there is no, the bodies are disconnected. There is no physical contact between them. While contact force means the two objects are interacting, you can there will be a physical force or physical contact. So contact force is divided into two, pushes or pull. When something push or pull, there is a contact between two object, right? And what about non-contact? Gravitational, electromagnetic, nuclear forces. Electromagnetic means, as the name itself suggests, there are two forces in electromagnetic: electric force and magnetic force. And pushes means it can be normal or frictional. Pulls means it is tension forces. So these are the classification of forces. So we are going to study. We will be studying the different type of forces in detail, anyways. And now, let us study one of the most important thing from this chapter. Have you heard about Newton's laws? Anybody? Newton's laws? Newton's laws. So how many Newton's laws are there? Newton's laws. Yes, Atharv. Three laws are there. Newton's first law, second law, and third law. So today we are going to study in detail about Newton's laws. Let us study Newton's first law of motion. Law of inertia, law of change, momentum, yes. Yes, Adar. Newton's first law. Let us study Newton's first law. It's very simple. It's very simple. So Newton's first law said that suppose an object is at rest, or suppose an object is at motion. So there are two states: in rest or in motion, either moving or they are sitting in a rest position. See, if that suppose an object at rest continue at the rest position, in suppose an object at motion continues in motion until and unless when an external force applied on it, external unbalanced force applied on it. For example, a car is moving. Okay, it is moving. But when we are giving a sudden brake, an external unbalanced force act on the car will stop, right? Or else it will continue in its motion. Suppose a ball is at rest position. It continue in its rest position until and unless an external unbalanced force act on it. Suppose a man come and kick the ball. An unbalanced force act on that ball. It starts to move. This is simply Newton's first law. What does it state? An object at rest tend to be in rest. An object in motion tends to stay in motion with the same speed in the same direction unless acted upon and by an unbalanced force. Understood Newton's first law? When an object at rest, continue in rest. When an object in motion, continue in motion. Only in which state? Until and unless an external unbalanced force act on it. Okay, understood. Yes, this is simply Newton's first law of motion. Yes. Now, let us take what is Newton's second law of motion. Okay, so Newton's first law just talk about what is an external unbalanced force, what impact it can do on an object. Simply about it doesn't talk about any quantitative percept of force or something. Here in Newton's second law, we are actually finding out what is force quantitatively. So let us mathematically find out what is force. So that happens in Newton's second law. So it states that the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on it and inversely proportional to the mass. So don't worry, it's very simple. It states that the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the force acting on it and inversely proportional to its mass. So let us how we can find out. Let's see. So it states that force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum. What do you mean by that? Rate of change of momentum. So how can we find out rate of something? Who can tell me? I want to find out rate of something. Any quantity I want to find out. How we can calculate the rate? How we can measure the rate? On what basis we are doing? Anybody? Parnavi, Lakshit, Adhar and Abu Bakr? How we can find out rate of something? Anybody? Parnavi, Lakshit, Adhar? Any idea? Any guesses? Other is saying final momentum minus initial momentum. Okay. Final momentum minus initial momentum, we will get change in momentum. We will only get the change. What happened to momentum? What change occur in momentum? But how we can find a rate of something? See here, if you want to find out rate of something, first you want to calculate the change and we should divide it with time. So this change occur in per unit time is rate. Okay. Change divided by time is rate of anything you can calculate. Okay. So here we are saying rate of change in momentum. So change in momentum divided by time is rate of change in momentum. Clear? So force is always proportional to the rate of change in momentum. What is momentum? Anybody? What is momentum? See, we have talked about rate of change of momentum. We understood what is change in momentum. What is change in momentum? Final momentum minus initial momentum is change happen in momentum. Rate, when we divide it with time, we'll get rate of change in momentum. And what is momentum? Yes, very good. Momentum, it's a quantity. We will represent momentum by the letter P. P is equal to mass into velocity. Okay. What is momentum? Momentum is equal to mass into velocity. It is a product of mass and velocity of an object. That is said to be the momentum. Okay. Mass into velocity. Yes. So how we can calculate the rate of change? How we can express it? It is expressed by dp by dt. Okay. This is the rate of change of momentum. It is expressed by dp by dt. Okay. So what is the change in momentum? So I will write down it again. Okay. So we have said that force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. So force is proportional to the rate of change in momentum. And what is change in momentum? Final momentum minus initial momentum. So what is final momentum? What is final momentum? What is momentum? Mass into velocity, right? So final momentum is mass into final velocity. And what is initial momentum? What is initial momentum? Mass into initial velocity. Okay, so change in momentum is final momentum minus initial momentum whole divided by time. Understood? So force is directly proportional to mass is a constant here. So I am writing it out, and V minus U. Okay, mass is a constant. So I am taking it out. So it's into V minus U whole divided by T. So force is directly proportional to mass into V minus U. Final velocity minus initial velocity is what is final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time? What is final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time? Anybody? Parnavi, Lakshit, Adhar. Can you tell me what is final velocity minus initial velocity? Yes. Final velocity minus initial is change in velocity by time. See, change divided by time is rate. Rate of change in velocity is what quantity? Tell me. Acceleration. Very good. So rate of change of velocity is acceleration. So instead of v minus u by t, I'm going to write it as acceleration. So F is directly proportional to mass into acceleration. So this is Newton's second law. Understood? Understood? Force is equal to ma. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. So I'm going to, instead of this proportionality, I'm going to write down an equal to sign. Then I will get a constant here, k. K is the constant over here. So F is equal to kma. Okay. So when k is equal to 1, I'll get F is equal to ma. So second law tell us the relationship between force and acceleration. Second law tell us the relationship between force and acceleration. Clear? Got it? Clear? Okay. Now, this is about Newton's second law of motion. So what was Newton's first law? An object tend to be in rest, continue to be in rest, and an object in motion continues to be in motion until and unless when an external unbalanced force act on that object. This is Newton's first law of motion. And what is Newton's second law of motion? Force is equal to ma, mass into acceleration. This is Newton's second law of motion. So who can tell me Newton's third law of motion? That is very simple. Newton's third law. I hope everybody have heard about Newton's third law. Anybody? What is Newton's third law? Newton's third law. Any guesses? Any guess? Newton's third law. Any guesses? Anybody? Lakshit, Adhar, Parnavi. Third law. Third law is very simple, It states that when object, you can see two object here, object 1 and object 2. When they both interact, force exerted by object 1 on object 2 is equal in magnitude but opposite in direction to the force exerted by object 2 on object 1. So it simply states that every reaction there is an equal and for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So what is Newton third law? For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. This is Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Understood? Clear? Okay. So we have learned about what is force, what is actually force. It is push or pull, right? So there are different type of force, mainly contact and non-contact force, right? Contact force is push or pull. Non-contact are known as field forces. So example, electrostatic force, magnetic force, gravitational force, right? So what is the SI unit of force? Newton, right? And is it a vector or scalar quantity? It is a vector quantity because it has magnitude and direction, right? Then what we have learned about Newton's first law, second law, third law of motion, right? And we have talked about how can an object move, suppose if two equal and opposite forces acting on an object, 5 newton on from one side and 10 newton on the another side. So, does the object move? Yes, because an unbalanced force act on that object, it will definitely move in the direction along with the direction of greater force, right? So, if two opposite forces applied, we want to subtract the forces to find out the net force, right? And if two forces act in the same direction, we will need to add the two forces to get the net force, right? Yes. And we talked about first law, it's just the qualitative study, and second law is the quantitative. We are getting an equation for force. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. Correct? Yes. And third law states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Hope it is clear to you. Tell me any doubt. So this is enough for today. Do you have any doubt regarding the class about force? Clear? Parnavi, Lakshit and other, any doubt? Can we wind up the session? Give me a thumbs up. Yes. Okay, then bye. See you in the next class. Bye bye. Bye. Thank you. Good night. Bye.